Hey Year 7, hi 7BM3. Welcome to this week's maths. We've got fractions for a final week. We're going to finish off this topic, do a little bit of top tips. So as always, we will start with an escaped kitten and the maths in Mrs. B's life. Okay. Okay, so our life this week was painting. So we've been painting various parts of our stairs, looking at buying paint. So the challenge is there's one shop that says it's £13.50 per tin. Another shop says actually you can buy 3 tins for £39.50. Which shop should I go to if I want 3 tins of paint? So have a think. What are you going to be doing in this calculation to try and work out the answer to this? Are you having a think? So let's now have a go at what we did to try and work out the answer. So cameraman, in you come. So I want to buy 3 tins of paint. So if I use column method and I add together 3 tins of paint, I'm going to put them in a column. Remember your decimal point also has to be put in. So 3 zeros are 0. 5, add 5 is 10, add 5 is 15. Remember, I'm going to put that in the next column and the 5 here. And then going to add 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 3 is 9. But don't forget this little one here. And it's a 10. And my last column, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget the little one here. And it's £40, remember, because it was pounds and 50 pence. So if I buy 3 tins from here, it'll be £40 and 50. If I take them up on the offer, it's going to be £39.50. Of course, you could do this as a multiplication. You could have done that. Some of you may have done that, and that would have been fine as well. So, as long as you're practicing your column method, either one of these would be suitable. I now know. I'm glad I bought the offer of 3 tins of paint. Well done. Okay, so this week's tasks 1 and 2. Oh, thank you. Tasks 1 and 2 on this week's sheet are about dividing fractions. Now, we all enjoyed dividing fractions when we did this in school because it involves KFC. So not eating it, unfortunately, but remembering it. So let's have a go at what we do with the KFC. So if we have 3/8 divided by 2/3, we can't just divide that as it is. What we have to do is start changing some things around, and we go with this KFC. So K is the first thing we do. We're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to change, and I'm putting this as the second thing you do because you're going to change the sign to multiplication, and then finally you're going to flip the last fraction. So let's give this a go. Let's follow this. We have keep. We're going to keep 3/8. We're then going to change the sign. So I'm going to change this to a multiplication. And lastly, I'm going to flip the last fraction. So I'm going to flip this upside down, which means it's going to be 3/2 instead of 2/3. And then I just do this as any other multiplication. So 3 times 3 is going to be 9, and 8 times 2, or 2 times 8, sometimes you hear that in your head better, is going to be 16. As always, I have to see, can I simplify this fraction? No. Can I divide both by 2? No. Both by 3? No. Both by 5? No. I don't think that's it. That's my final answer. What about this one? What about this one where we have an integer, a whole number? Let's try. We're applying the same method. So we have 3 divided by 1/2. So I'm going to keep the first number, but it needs to be a fraction. And remember, we always said that the number over 1 will make it a fraction. I'm then going to change the sign. Oh, that looks like a plus. And then I'm going to flip the last fraction. So it's going to become 2 over 1. Then I'm going to do the calculation. 3 times 2 is 6. And 1 times 1 is 1. Now, we said at the start, to make a whole number, you put it over 1. 6 divided by 1 gives me the final answer of 1. Good luck. Give them a go. Looking forward to hear how you get on. Hi folks, I think I just said that a different answer to that was written down there. The final answer to this question is 6, because 6 divided by 1 gives us 6. Okay, so for tasks 3 and 4 today, I've brought them both together because they're very similar in that they use a whole number and a fraction. We've got mixed numbers here that we first of all have to convert into an improper fraction. So 2 and 1/3 divided by 1/5. We have to sort this out first. So let's have a look at the 2. And what is each of these numbers in thirds? Because this fraction is in thirds. It's 2 whole and 1/3. So we're going to convert 2 into thirds. Well, let's take 1 first of all. 3/3 make 1, but we have 2 of them. So we've got 2 lots of 3/3, which make the 2, plus the 1/3 that we have here. So we've got 3 plus 3 plus 1, and we know that that gives us 7/3, because the denominator is thirds, and we have 7 of them. So just to double check how I've got this 2, we've got 3/3 and 3/3 together make 6/3, which is the same as 2, plus the third in the question gives us 7/3. So let's now rewrite this, and we're going to do our KFC. So we're going to rewrite this as 7/3. So we're going to keep the first fraction. We're then going to change the sign from division to multiplication. And then we're going to flip the last fraction, so it's going to become that. Okay? My cameraman, can you come up a little bit? That would be perfect so that we can see the whole sheet. Fantastic. So now we've got 7 times 5, which is going to give me 35. 3 times 1 is going to give me 3. Now that's a big fraction, 35/3. So what I've got to start doing here is seeing if I can get this back into a mixed number. So I've got 35 divided by 3 is going to be 11. There are 11 3s in 35. But I also have 2 left over. I have 2, so it's going to become 2/3, because there's 2 remainder, but it is 2 little thirds that are the remainder. And so my final answer is going to be 11 2/3. Let's just go over this again. 35 divided by 3. Well, there are 11 3s in 35, giving us 33. And I have 2 left over, 33, 34, 35. I can't have remainder 2 as a fraction. We know it's 2 little thirds. So it's 11 2/3. Try these, try a few of them. These are a bit more tricky. Give it a go. Okay, Year 7, the other set of tasks that you've got to do this week is basically a revision of all the things we've done with fractions. These are all of our notes and our examples from all the videos. You can go back and watch the previous videos, but I'm about to give you my top tips for answering fractions questions. Are you ready? Hi, okay, so my top tips are just 4 little points. The first one, when you are adding or subtracting fractions, the denominator absolutely must be the same. And then all you've got to do is add the 2 numerators or subtract one from the other. And hey presto, you get an answer. But it's all about making sure the denominators are the same. Second top tip, when you're multiplying fractions, all you've got to do is multiply the numerators together and then multiply the denominators together. It's easy peasy. It's the easiest one of them all, really. So you don't have to change denominators. Multiply the top, multiply the bottom. Got your answer. Done. Number 3, when you're dividing fractions, just remember the KFC rule. Keep the first fraction, change the sign to multiplication, flip the last fraction, and then find your answer. And the last one's really, really important, is always remember to simplify your answer. You want to get the easiest, simplest fraction as your final answer. And my cheat tip on this is, yes, you can try and look at your times tables, absolutely, finding common factors, but just try and divide the top and the bottom by 2, and if they don't, try 3, and if they don't, try 5. And more times out of them all, that will work. So good luck. I want to see lots and lots of excellent effort here. You're doing a brilliant, brilliant job. Keep up the good work, Year 7. So tracking the kittens, here we are. We're now pretty much at the point where the biggest of the kittens is almost off of our graph, over 700 grams and not even 6 weeks old yet. We missed another couple of data points, but they're doing incredibly well. They're running around, so all is well. So as always, it's goodbye from Mummy and goodbye from Fluffball, and then goodbye from the other 2 fluff balls. Oh, hello. Are you going to say hello and give us a stretch? Oh, that's lovely. Goodbye, you guys.